I just got back from Texas. I think so. I don't talk about the FPSRussia productions that much and like promote it or anything, but I gotta say, I think the video that we made this past week is the best one I've ever made. It's definitely the highest effort one, the most expensive one that's like privately funded. Because like I don't know, when we did Call of Duty stuff, they had like $500,000 budgets, but with this, it was we had drones in the air. I had Richard Ryan out there in the video with me using his high-speed cameras. We've got a tank. We've got a $250,000, $300,000 house, and 150 pounds of binary explosives, another like 50 pounds of TNT, shaped charges, body armored mannequins, soup kitchens, fucking. It was a high effort video. It took us 2 full days to film out of the Ox Ranch in Texas. And I don't know. There's everything. There's zebras in the video. There's a tank driving through the house in the video. There's explosions very close to people in the video. There's dozens of machine guns, and we had one hell of a time. I don't know when the edit will be done, but be on the lookout for that because I really am proud of this one.
I'm looking forward to that.
And of course, like going out there, like it's so much fun. The last night we all went hunting, so we get on like one of those Ford Raptors, the 4-door. It's a 4-door F-150 that's souped up, and on the back, instead of a bed, he's got like a raised platform with 2 sets of bench seats. So Eric, who's a rack veteran, 8888, and his buddy Chad, who worked with me on productions, they're sitting in front of us, and me and Richard Ryan are sitting in the back. And we're just exposed, on this raised platform on the back of the truck. I'm wearing night vision binoculars with a helmet. I've got a fully automatic 300 blackout with an infrared laser that can only be seen if you're wearing night vision goggles. And we're riding around completely blacked out, no lights, no running lights whatsoever. And just a herd of pigs runs out, and I hear contact 12 o'clock, and everybody just fucking opens up, and it's just. Richard's next to me with a Scar heavy. Eric's got a Tavor with a night vision scope on it. He's letting him have it, and then Chad's got a suppressed AR-15. He's letting him have it. We had a great time on that trip. It's the wildlife alone he's got. Like I'd never seen a white buffalo or a giraffe or a camel like up close and personal. So I had a really good time.
You'd never seen a giraffe?
I don't know what else to say.
You gone to the zoo?
Not like. Yeah, but here you can like go pet it and it'll like try to chew your hair.
I pet a giraffe before. The North Carolina Zoo lets you do. You're on a deck that's like 10 feet in the air already, so you're kind of seeing eye to eye with the giraffe, and you can feed it branches, I think, and pet it and stuff like that. They're real gentle. Well, these giraffe are gentle anyway.
In the wild, they're going to be very vicious.
I have no idea what they are in the wild, but these are, yeah.
The camel that they've got used to be in the giraffe pen, but it would attack the other animals, and it would it put its head under a buffalo and flip the buffalo and not a buffalo, a Watusi, one of those cows with the huge horns, like a 2,000-pound animal. The camel lifts it up in the air, throws it, the thing lands on its head and breaks its neck. So they had to neuter
with its neck.
I watched a documentary.
They tell me.
Oh, go on.
They tell me that like if it wanted to, it could bite me and throw me over its shoulder, like over a car. Which was kind of scary because like I was hanging out with it, and it's like it bit my head like right here, and its mouth is big enough to like encompass my whole skull. I got some video of that. I'm gonna get it to you, Woody, or on YouTube so that we can play it on the next PKA. It's hilarious. What's the camel biting me in the head? I learned a skill this week.
Oh yeah.
What'd you learn?
I learned to drive an armored personnel carrier. It was like at first they were like, oh, and then Kyle, we'll take you over here and we'll show you how to drive the BMP. And I was like, I don't even have to technically be the one driving it. He could drive it and I'll pop out of the hatch and we'll do some movie magic. And they're like, no, we want you to be the one driving it. And I was like, sure. So I go and took maybe 30 minutes of familiarization. The control panel on that thing is it's like an aircraft almost. What
does BMP stand for?
I don't know.
Bitmap.
It's a Russian armored personnel carrier. It's got a 6.4 liter diesel engine. It's like a 5-speed transmission or something like that, and there were a lot of stuff to learn, but I got it all down. I learned to steer it, and by the end of the day, I think I was probably the best at driving it that was there, including all the staff and people who had been driving it. I got really good with it, and I enjoyed it. I had a lot of. I didn't think I would. Usually, I've driven a lot of tanks before. I'd say a lot, 3 tanks before.
How do you typically it's like a lever for each tread, and you just do that.
I've seen that. Yeah, that's a cool thing. But this one had this thing that was sort of. It wasn't a wheel. It was more of a bar that was like horizontal. Trying to get far enough from the camera so you can. And I kind of put my hands on it like this and did this with it. And if you did it a little, it would make nice smooth turns. But if you did it hard, it would do that number where one tread goes forward and one backwards, and it'll just 0 turn. And so yeah, that's how it worked.
Huh. It's funny you picked that up so well, but you can't whitewater raft for his shit. Paddle backwards.
Oh, I didn't want to paddle.
He means everyone but me. He means the plebes on this boat.
We shouldn't have been paddling at all. See, what that guy was doing was like guiding us in as smoothly as possible, like we were a bunch of toddlers. I wanted to hit those rocks fucking head on. I wanted bumps and people getting thrown and stuff. So like when he's like paddle backwards, like no, let's fucking hit it sideways. Let's capsize this bitch and make something cool happen. Like these aren't raging rapids. We're gonna get sucked under. There aren't whirlpools. Like I wanted to crash that boat. I wanted to see Chiz go for a swim again.
Could have killed Chiz. He's not a strong swimmer, right?
I mean, Kyle is not a strong swimmer. You got the
life raft, and we can just grab a paddle and pull you back in. Chiz fell out of the boat. We pulled him right back in.
That's right. Yeah. I was one of the pullers. And then I looked at my footage. It didn't look that good.
Yeah, mine didn't either.
It was like something about the angle of having it on top of your head. It's not that the rapids were like the world's greatest rapids, although they were the greatest in the area. But everything seemed so easy from my head mounted or helmet mounted cam. You know, that thing Chiz fell out on was at least a 7-foot drop. It might have been 9 foot, and it looked like 4. It looked like, why did he even fall out of the boat? And some of the other things that we did find that were like 5 or 6 foot drops looked like they were just speed bumps. And yeah, it just doesn't work out that well. Oh well.
I enjoyed the trip though. I had a lot of fun on that trip. I liked going ziplining. I liked doing the rafting. I'm glad I did it. That was a fun trip. I enjoyed that cabin as much as anything though. Hanging out up
Simply
there.
Pleasures.
Yeah,
or simple pleasures. Simple pleasures.
Three dudes staying in a cabin called Simple Pleasures. It was. It was a little silly, but whatever. That's how I like this.
Kyle really liked the cabin. I remember. I'm sorry to cut you off, but you were like, I could buy a cabin like this. Like your next place might be.
Am.
Yeah,
that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna have one built. That's what I'll do next time because I figure for like. First of all, I like that look. I like the rough edges. I like the timbers on the inside. I like the hardwood floor that's not
perfect and shiny finished. And yeah,
perfect and shiny and all that. I like that it's just rough board. I feel like you could spill a whole plate of spaghetti on the floor and use a shovel to clean the floor.
It was finished. It wasn't like it was raw wood like a Western floor or something, but it was.
I'd be fine with that.
I bet you it doesn't clean up well. I bet you just stain everywhere. But it had a rustic look, that's for sure, and it was pretty cool. I can see why you'd like it. And it was a pretty neat size for someone who doesn't have a whole family living there.
That was one of the things that we were kind of talking about a lot on this trip because, our host there that owns the ranch and everything, he's incredibly wealthy, hundreds of millions of dollars. And it's interesting to see like what someone who can have anything has. And a lot of us, we were like, he hasn't been frivolous about this. Like, he doesn't have Lamborghinis. He doesn't have a fleet of helicopters or anything. He doesn't have like a bunch of like goofy, like silly toys that you couldn't also look at as a tool. He's got a lot of things that are like business oriented and about getting stuff done. He's got an excavator or he's got these tanks. Well, that tank stuff is about, having people come and pay to use those tanks in the future. And, that big game ranch, they have, it's a paid hunt sort of thing. And one of the things I learned about that, like I know that like big game hunting isn't that politically correct these days or popular. And we've talked about how I don't care for it when someone goes over to Africa and shoots that wild African lion and all that stuff. I didn't care for that Cecil the lion thing. But in his case, a lot of these animals, if he weren't taking care of them, then they were going to be put down. They were going to be exterminated in one way or another. A lot of them are surplus zoo animals that he's like basically sort of adopted and takes care of. And I know there was one instance where like they made it illegal to hunt this certain type of antelope because it was so rare. And it existed in the most quantities on Texas big game ranches. There were more in Texas than there were in Africa. And so when they made it illegal to hunt them, now they're almost completely extinct. And the reason for that was these Texas game ranches had them and were paying to keep their
the species
herds alive.
Yep.
But all of a sudden now it's not profitable to keep them alive. You can't have them there anymore because what if a hunter accidentally kills it? So they had to get rid of them. So now they're all gone. So there are good things that come about from those big.
If they made riding horses illegal, then there'd be hardly any horses. Look, Philly. You don't get ridden and you don't live.
I think we need more horse meat in our diet. I think that we should be able to go somewhere and order a horse steak or order a horse burger or something. In Canada, you can do that.
I want a cheap steak, whatever that is. If horse is cheap, if bison is cheap, I want some cheap red meat.
I just want to eat a majestic animal. I want it to be in my belly.
Oh, we got to fix the cameras. What was I going to say?
I wonder what it tastes like. Probably similar to cow, just really lean, I would think.
I've had a handful of exotic meats, like elk. I shouldn't say exotic, maybe. I've had elk and venison, of course, and duck. I guess none of these are really exotic. I've had alligator. I've rattlesnake. I like the elk. The elk was really tasty, and I like venison too. But nothing beats that freaking Five Guys hamburger. That's what I'm wanting right now. I think we get done with this I'm gonna go get a Five Guys hamburger in a minute whenever we're done with this. These things are delicious.
You've been on a big Five Guys kick.
Recently, it's and to maintain a decent weight, it means I can only eat the one meal a day, so it's annoying. I've had to start running again. I'm not a fan of it.
Running is the worst.
Running is the worst.